The WNBA has found the savior that they've so desperately needed, but can the league really sustain a player of this magnitude? Caitlin Clark is not only doing things unprecedented for women's athletics, but Caitlin Clark is quickly changing the sport of basketball as we know it. Turning the men's March Madness tournament that puts out the best shows in sports year after year into an afterthought. The thought of bringing a fraction of the viewership that Clark is bringing into March Madness should have the whole WNBA drooling, as anyone who's not living in La La Land can recognize that the league's lack of popularity has held it back from ever achieving any mainstream recognition. When shitty videos making fun of the top women's players while pulling way more views than your championship series, you'd expect the best players in the world to accept the one girl who's managed to completely revive the sport with open arms and then some. Regardless of the potential she may bring, countless players and affiliates of the league have been attempting to diminish the absolute anomaly of a talent that is Caitlin Clark. And all of a sudden, some deeper pockets are looking to swoop up the goldmine that is the best women's basketball player who doesn't have many better alternatives with her career. We all know that Caitlin Clark has the potential to transcend the WNBA to new heights. But the question really is, can the WNBA itself climb the rankings alongside her without tearing themselves down in the process? With the NBA playoffs coming up, it's literally the best time to get out and catch your favorite team live and in person. I know we all want to catch a game while tensions are at their highest, but whether it be price, timing, or getting the seat before they sell out, it never seems to work out. But with the GameTime sports app, finding killer deals on seats is easier than ever. With views from the seats and all-in prices right in your face that take the guesswork out of the ticketing process. I was able to catch my local Minnesota Gophers thanks to the GameTime app, and it couldn't have been an easier and better experience. With incredible last-minute deals and the simplicity of a two-click purchase, it's time to leave the excuses in the past. With a lowest price guarantee, event cancellation, and even job loss protection, GameTime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. It's time to follow through this year. Download the GameTime app and create an account and use code SWISHCOUNTY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, redeem code SWISHCOUNTY for $20 off. And a big thank you to the GameTime app for sponsoring this video. As just a girl out of West Des Moines, Iowa, Caitlin Clark may have had the craziest college run of all time. Despite failing to win a tourney in her 4 years, finishing her career with 28 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebound averages as the all-time leader in Division I basketball, surpassing a record that has withstood 50 years and has transcended her popularity into completely new levels. As her really brilliant points, who in Steph Curry-esque fashion has major gravity pulling defenders outside way beyond the three-point line, Clark really brought a whole new style of play to women's basketball, just like the uprising we saw Steph bring a decade prior. A guard who runs off on or off ball screens like it's a shooting drill and can surprisingly change speeds and directions quickly, Clark was a defensive magnet that also just happened to be the best facilitator at the college level. Her dominance was obviously spectacular, but at the end of the day, the records are still going to be broken at one point or another. What will never be recreated is the way that the play of an individual completely surged a sport that was looked at as a complete laughingstock. Putting the women's tournament on top of the men's for the first time in history is something I don't think any of us realistically ever thought would happen. But during a down year for the men's tourney and a loaded year full of stars and storylines conflicting, I'm sure almost everyone watching this was one of the 45 million viewers over her last 3 collegiate games. Pulling nearly 19 million for Sunday's championship game, more than tripling records of 5.6 million prior to her run, and more viewers than the NBA Finals in the last 6 seasons. Caitlin Clark mania is the biggest phenomenon to ever touch women's basketball, and it's not even close. Pulling in nearly 15 times the highest viewed WNBA game of all time for someone who's not even touching a pro court yet. The women's basketball scene is looking up in a major way. Throughout the influx of new viewership, the world took notice of talent like Juju Watkins putting up 27 as a freshman, Angel Reese creating the most interesting rivalry in the tournament, and reminded the world that Paige Beckers is the smoothest woman to ever touch a ball. The potential star power entering WNBA is something that solely could fuel the uprising of a sport that desperately needs it, since after all, the biggest leagues in the world are built on it. Even the NBA has gone through its dry spells, lacking that picture-perfect poster boy for an extended period of time. The foundation may have been laid with guys like George Mikan, and maybe the frame job came in with Russell and Wilt, but with the emergence of the infamous Midwest collegiate rivalry of Magic and Bird, splitting up to the 2 biggest market teams before colliding in the NBA Finals year after year, was the saving grace that really brought the NBA to the mainstream in the 1980s. And as Michael Jordan picked up where they left off, he brought that shit into the stars. And without the presence of that all-time great poster boy, the NBA has seen steeply declining NBA Finals ratings ever since the end of the Warriors-Cavs rivalries. Jokic and Giannis may be fantastic players, and hell may finish above some guys when things are all said and done, but it's safe to say that the top players in the league lack the marketability and relatability of the LeBrons, Kobe, Jordans, Birds, and Magics that have carried the weight of the league before them. When looking back in the WNBA's history, they've had the Sue Birds, they've had the Diana Taurasi's, and they've had the Maya Moores, but they really haven't had the poster child who brings a story worth watching. Despite having a way higher talent level, you're not going to catch me watching a G League game over Cooper Flag balled up in high school, since watching a star shine proportionately to his peers is what makes the game worth watching and emotionally invests haters and fans alike in the process. It's clear that with the production level and entertainment value that Clark's game provides, there's never been a talent that the WNBA needs to ride into the sunset like this before. But as the WNBA tends to do, it seems like some of the top talent in the league has complained themselves into the headlines for all the wrong reasons once again.
Caitlin Clark need a championship to be considered one of the greats in women's college basketball history.
Yeah, she does. I think so.
And energy behind Caitlin is going to be a game changer for a WNBA franchise. I think for that reason, right now, this year, you have to take her. From a basketball standpoint, I could make an argument for Paige.
I'm taking Paige. Next question.
What you just saw is the consensus best women's player in the world today and the best women's player of all time, mitigating the biggest thing that's ever happened to their sport. The top talent for years has gotten blasted for frequently bothering the public with cries of oppression, over being in the top 10% of income earners in America, not counting endorsement dealings, for playing one basketball game every 10 days for a business that loses millions of dollars every year. Once the solution to their agony comes to open up the door for women across the globe, it seems like the only ones shutting it is the ones that were supposed to be uplifting each other the entire time.
One big news this morning, TMZ says it's official. Big Three has made a $5 million offer to the sensation that is Caitlin Clark.
You know, when we came up with the idea, you know, our sponsors, our partners, they all want to make it happen. So, you know, we was able to make that generous offer.
Due to the lack of prior success, it is unfeasible for the WNBA to really make offers anywhere close to that figure. Hell, Dave Portnoy was willing to pay her more than an NBA rookie to play in the Barstool League. With support coming in from all different directions and industries high and low, the only ones seeming to be unsure about the positivity they're garnering are the ones who should be benefiting from it.
I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think, and I don't think it really makes any sense.
Despite the offers as it stands today, Caitlin Clark will be drafted and signed by the Indiana Fever on Monday for a $76,000 deal. With the likely lifespan of a career in these other gimmicky leagues being shortened, and the fame that Caitlin has reached in college already making her a multi-millionaire, it makes sense that despite not being able to receive her worth from their league directly, the top talent in the world doesn't have a better option than what has only proven to be a failed basketball league. Even with the recent increase in popularity, the WNBA still remains in a major 20-year downswing that this next generation of talent is going to have a major uphill battle to overcome. Despite failing to ever reach the success that even women's college basketball has reached due to the built-in communities in a college town, the talent that the league is coming into does have the magnitude to launch the WNBA out of the waters it's been treading in since its inauguration. But right now, we'll just have to wait and see if the league will continue to disappoint when the pressure's at its highest. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. Check out my last video here if you missed it, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.
Lucas.